Hello, guys. Welcome back to the Blue Boys Network. I'm James, joined by Scott. We are from Full Time Winners. It's a new show that you're going to be seeing every Wednesday. We don't have a specific team when we do our shows, although we are Wolves fans. We are a general channel, though.
We are, and I'm happy with the name, Full-Time Winners. It's something usually when I play football, I'm not on the winning team. So, when Mike suggested the name, I was pretty happy with it for once to actually be on the winning team. And as James says, we're going to be a weekly show. We're going to be bringing some general football content. So, guys, if you're obviously a lot of Mike's subs are going to be Everton fans so far, there's still going to be lots of Everton content for you guys. Hopefully you enjoy our content too. But if you're not an Everton fan and you just come across this video, there's also going to be lots of general football content on the channel, not just us, other people as well. So make sure to hit that subscribe button and let's try and get the Blue Boys Network up to that all-important 10K mark.
Yeah, Mike's not far from 10K now, so if we can get him there in the next week or two, that would be ambitious, but it could be good. We were wondering what to do for our first video, and we wanted to keep it light, entertaining, so you guys could get to know us for when the season starts, and we're doing more serious content on a weekly basis. So we thought, why don't we just jump into a tier system? Now, this could go very well for us, or it could go bad, depending on where we put Everton, which is, where most of the fan base is coming from. And we thought this would be, one of the best ways to get across ourselves to you guys and also have a laugh. Scott, I reckon we just start from left and go to right, yeah? So we'll start left with Leeds.
Jump in with Leeds.
Yeah. So the first one, Leeds. Leeds are a funny one. They were in League One for a while, the Championship. We know how big they are. Where are they for you, Leeds? We should just say the parameters for this are based on a club size. So history, honours, trophies, European success, domestic success, brand awareness globally, the whole package, I guess, the whole shebang.
Yeah, exactly that. And I suppose it's one of them in it with Leeds. They've not had, obviously, the recent success dropping down to League One in recent times, but they're on the way back up now. And let's face it, they have got a massive fan base. So for me, I'd probably put them in a big club.
Big club. I mean, they were very successful under Don Revie, if you do remember, so you don't remember, but back in the 70s especially, they were winning league titles, that kind of thing. Famously, Brian Clough took over and lasted 7 or 8 weeks, I think. But I don't think I'd disagree with that, big club.
They've got the potential to be a massive club, haven't they, Leeds? They definitely have. They've got the home fan base, but now, compared to when they were big, massive in the 70s, 80s, as you say, it's all about that international fan base as well now. Obviously, that gives them money for the transfers, I suppose the global appeal as well. And I'm not sure if they've got that so much at the moment, which I don't think would bother Leeds fans, really. I don't think they're really asked if they've got like a big following in Asia, for example, or, but they're still a very well-known club. But I think they're a big club that could potentially end up massive.
I agree. Oh, well, Ellen Road is what? It holds 42 or 43,000. Yeah. So, it's an old stadium, but I kind of like that. I do like the old retro stadiums. I think big club is right. Moving on to Manchester United, no debate. They're one of, if not the biggest club in the world. I don't think there's many clubs that'll go into this tier, God tier. Just to let everyone know, you can see it yourself. We've got God tier, massive club, big club, well known, yeah. And then tiny, God tier, Man U.
They've got to, haven't they? I think Man U are one of those, aren't they? I think if you don't support United, not a lot of people actually like them as a club, but you can't escape that they're one of the biggest clubs in the world. Probably deserve more at the moment in terms of trophies, if you were being honest, just based on the size of the club. Obviously,
no guarantee,
but not the only ones with dodgy owners at the moment. But escaping the last few years where they've not really won as much, there's still that God tier category for me, definitely.
I agree. Moving on to Burnley. This one for me, I don't know Burnley. Like, are they well known? Like, when we say well known, if you went to most places in the world, they'd know who they are, kind of thing. Are Burnley a meh club, or are they well known, or are they tiny?
I don't think they could be considered tiny now, can they? Because they've spent that long in the Prem, obviously under Sean Dyche as well. But again, I don't think we could put them in well known. They've not got that big a ground. It's a ground that definitely needs redeveloping.
Oh, God.
You know, it's definitely on its way out. International fan base, not really. You don't really see. I think owner-wise, they haven't got an owner that will spend an awful lot. Sean Dyche has been, in my opinion, he's been pulling off miracles for them for absolutely ages. So I don't think you can put them in tiny, but meh. We'll go meh.
We'll go with meh. Coming on to Newcastle, I think this could be one of the hardest ones. And guys, let us know in the comments, what do you think? Because you could argue Everton are on a similar level to Newcastle in a way where, you know, Newcastle have been fighting for titles in more recent memory back in the 90s than Everton. But obviously, Everton had so much success under Howard Kendall, which we'll come on to. But have Newcastle not won a trophy in something like, is it 50 years or 45 years? It's really bad.
Yeah, as you say, I can't remember the last time that they did win a trophy. Obviously done a bit of going up and down the leagues as well. But at the end of the day, they've got such a massive fan base. I mean, the questions have to be around the owners, doesn't it? So
yeah,
but what if they were? You know what? I'd put them on the same level as Leeds for me. I think they're a big club. Oh, they're massive. It's a hard one, isn't it? That. I
don't think they're definitely not massive, because we'll come on to it, but they don't get into the category of other clubs that we'll come on to. For me,
it's the trophies and the investment that holds them back, isn't it? I mean, they've got one of the biggest following in England, haven't they, really? But yeah, I think because of Mike Ashley and the investment into the club at the moment, I think you have to categorise them as a big club, but not massive.
I'd put Leeds, if we're doing a tier within a tier, I'd say Leeds are a bigger club than Newcastle. I know they've got such a big following. St James's Park or Sports Direct, whatever it's called now, holds more fans. But I don't know, there's something special about Leeds, isn't there? Although I don't like them.
Yeah.
Moving to Paris, for me, this is quite simple. They're a meh club. They've never won
a Burnley, aren't they? With Burnley.
Yeah, if you've never won a trophy, never, for me, you're meh.
And again, they've got a small stadium and a very good fan base, let's say that, for what they have. They're very loud, they're very vocal, but there's no escaping that, you know, their fan base is quite small. It's one of the smaller clubs in terms of the Premier League in London. And again, that lack of investment, a bit like Burnley, but you can't really put them above meh, can you?
I don't think so. I think you could argue that there's probably 7 or 8 clubs in the Championship that would be a bigger club than Palace. I think that's quite simple. Norwich, again, I don't really care about Norwich as a football club. If they went out, it's one of those things, isn't it? You know, you don't want to see clubs go out of business, but I wouldn't lose sleep over them. Are they meh or tiny? Again, I know they had a decent spell in the early 90s when the Premier League first formed. Didn't they finish something stupid like 4th or 3rd?
Yeah, definitely. And I think it's one of them where, again, they've been that team, haven't they, so far? They've just been so yo-yo. I won't quite put them in tiny. I won't quite put them in tiny. That's probably a little bit harsh. I think they've got a decent home fan base.
Not even well-known, though.
They're
I think
leave them in meh. Leave them in meh for me.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. Moving on to Manchester City, of course, if this was a tier list over the last decade, they're probably the only club that goes into God tier. Maybe Chelsea and Liverpool as well, you could argue. But for me, I think they're a massive club. They're so big around the world now. Social media's come such a long way over the last 10 years, where they've really had their success from their first title win. Haven't won the big one yet, which is obviously the Champions League. But, got to a final finally. The Premier League, they've won it 4 out of 5 years. You're starting to get towards that Man United level of dominance domestically, aren't you? So, got to be massive.
I think you're right there. I think some people probably disagree and say that they should be in a big club. Obviously, we know the Etihad sometimes doesn't, they struggle to fill the capacity. That's not really the City fans' fault, though, is it? That's just one of them. But, if you take a 30,000 loyal fan base and try to scale it up by double the size ground-wise in the space of 10 years, I don't really hold that against them. I suppose you've got to put them in a massive club because of the trophies that they've been winning in the last 10 years. they've obviously got the financial investment. I mean, we're hearing a 100 mil bid for Jack Grealish, for example.
Yeah.
Not many other clubs will be able to do that. The manager they've got, Pep Guardiola, obviously probably the biggest manager in world football by name, at least at the moment. So yeah, definitely not God tier. I could see people's argument, you know, to be fair, for big club, but I think massive club is probably right.
Yeah, I'd go with that, to be honest.
So our club next, our club.
Coming on to Wolves, which, as I mentioned at the start of the video, is our team. I'm not being funny. I'm not just being biased. We have to be a big club. Do you disagree? You're such an idiot. You fucking paused right, right away because
would you say we're as big as Leeds and Newcastle?
I'd say we're bigger than Newcastle. Don't know about Leeds, but
no, I wouldn't say we're bigger than Newcastle. Newcastle have 55,000 fans on a regular basis. They've been in, despite where they've been finishing and lack of investment, they've been in the Premier League for like a longer period than us, certainly over the last 20 years. I would put us in well known.
This is getting embarrassing now. You're just doing this to be a hipster and just to try and gain some kind of weird fan base where, I'm going to go against the grain.
Why would I go against my own club? It's just an honest assessment. Take away the bias. Why are we a big club? We've won the championship and that's it in like the last how many years? Well, we get 30,000 at home. That's our capacity, but all our capacity is 30,000.
We invented European football. Fact. If you don't know that, go and check it out. You know, we got to the Europa League quarterfinals not too long ago. We're one of only 4 or 5 clubs in England that have a decade named after them, which was the 50s. 3 leagues and I think 3 FA Cups. It's a big, big decade, that is. I think we're a big club.
I'll get that from a historical point of view, but let's be honest, do the 50s really matter now?
Depends how far you go back, because for me, I think there's a club in there that have won European trophies that we haven't come on to yet, that I would also say is a big club. Not quite massive, but
it's our club, so I'm happy to concede on this one. I won't argue.
I can't believe you don't think we're a big. I can't believe you don't think we're a big club. We invented European football. We've got
the infrastructure too, especially now with our owners and stuff. But I think we're on the touch. We're very high up on well known, but I don't think we're quite in big.
I'm overruling you, because if we aren't a big club, we can take out a load of clubs in there. Don't we have We have like a 5-year waiting list for season tickets. So you were talking about how Man City didn't have the infrastructure in terms of like their fan base to grow with the the stadium rebuild. We are building a new stadium because we have 3, 4, 5-year waiting list on season tickets.
Yeah, I get that. I do get it. I think we just need a few more years in the Prem. Keep on building on that infrastructure. Don't get me wrong, we've got everything in place. Wolves have to probably end up where City are if things go to plan with our owners. But I just think we need, I think it'll be a different conversation in 5 years' time. Fingers crossed. But
I agree.
Yeah.
I just think.
I'm happy to concede, and let's face it, you've got the mouse, so I don't have a choice in it.
Yeah, I could put us here if I wanted to. That's it. What about Southampton?
You just got to leave us up
there. This is quite easy for me. I'd go well known.
Yeah, good. Getting good fan base, aren't they? Good. They've got a good home fan base, but again, they haven't really pushed on for Europe. Stable Prem. They're a stable Prem club, aren't they? At the end of the day,
they are now. Obviously, they did go down to League One, if you don't remember, or maybe you're too young to remember. Wasn't that long ago, 10 years, they were floating around League One. They beat us in the Championship 15 years ago, 6-0 away from home. I remember that. So, they have spent their time down there. But, I think they're pretty well known. Stick them there. Arsenal. Can you put Arsenal in God tier anymore?
Should we go back to Spurs? Or?
Oh, is there something you want to say on Spurs?
No, to be fair, I think I agree with you. I think, the NFL, more known for their NFL stadium than they are anything else.
For anyone that doesn't know, any chance we get to banter Spurs, we love it because
Which
it's
is a
just
bit of an
an
odd one.
easy club. Yeah, Spurs. You've got to say, if we're a big club, if we're being serious, you've got to say they're a big club. They've been in the Champions League final in recent years. They've been to finals of like League Cups and that kind of thing. But they will be, for me, now known as an NFL team. So
I saw a stat the other day that it's actually been long. It's the last time they won the trophy was actually closer to the Victorian age than it was today.
I saw that, yeah. Like someone
let's promote them back down to tiny, no trophies whatsoever.
Was it something like Queen Victoria's birth is now closer than when they last won a trophy, or something like that?
Yeah, I think it was a death, weren't it, which spelled the end of the Victorian era. So we're even giving history lessons on the Blue Boys network here.
Listen, this is what we do. If you don't know, go and check us out at Sweet and Sour Soccer. This is what we do. Arsenal. I don't think they're God tier anymore. I know you disagree, don't you?
Right, I think.
Oh, you don't disagree?
No, I don't disagree with you at all. I think you have to keep them in. I think they're a massive club now. They're definitely not God tier.
Because you're a closet Arsenal fan, aren't you? So I don't know.
Well, you know I like Arsenal. Obviously, my favourite player of all time, Thierry Henry, the GOAT. Yeah. But no, they're just not. They're not massive, are they anymore? Let's face it. No, sorry, they're not God tier.
They are a massive club, and they're probably the biggest club. Yeah, they're probably the biggest club on the outside of God tier. But it's just been too long now. The problem is fans that are growing up now don't see Arsenal the way that me, you, and most of viewers at home see Arsenal. We see Arsenal as the Invincibles, watching them, and Lundberg and Vieira, Henry, all these players. Kids now are seeing Arsenal as that between 5th and 8th place club that win an FA Cup every now and then. They're just not that club anymore. And I know you could argue Liverpool had that spell, but they were winning Champions Leagues. They were fighting Man City for the title in 2014. They were fighting Man U for the title in 2008. Arsenal haven't challenged for a title for about 20 years now. 17 years, 16 years. It's a long time.
I think it's one of them as well. They've obviously got the international fan base, which is right, a massive reason. And even in the UK, there's so many Arsenal fans. But I agree, maybe that younger generation now that are choosing like a club not based on where they come from and just for other reasons, are too many of them really picking Arsenal? I mean, when we were in school, a lot of people were picking Arsenal, weren't they? Because it was that invincible time. But I don't think that happens as much now, but they're still a massive club worldwide. I don't think you could argue with that.
They are. I completely agree. Watford, I'm quite happy to stick them there. They've never won a trophy. Again, if you've never won a trophy in your entire history, when your claim to fame is Elton John, you've got to get in the bin.
Have they still got that statue, or did they get rid of it?
Oh, I've got no idea. Well, the biggest L ever on a statue is Fulham's, wasn't it? Michael Jackson. That just didn't make any sense at all.
Oh, that's the one. Sorry, that's the one I was thinking of. It weren't the Fulham. I thought for a second Watford had an Elton John statue. I know. I was thinking of something weird. Of course,
they probably will one day. Like their biggest claim to fame isn't a player. I know you could probably say Graham Taylor, who did a lot for them. I think I've got that right. He was a big manager for them back in the day, and I think he might have played for them, but. Is it unfair to say that they're a smaller club than Norwich? Would they be a meh club? They did get to the FA Cup final. They beat us in the semi-final, but I don't know.
I suppose, as you say, they have got to an FA Cup final. I'll stick them in meh. We'll stick them. Maybe we're being a bit too nice here, but now we've already stuck Burnley, Palace, Norwich and Watford all in meh. Yeah. I'm looking at that list, and there's only one that I'm truly going to put in tiny. I don't even think their fans would disagree at the moment, but we'll get on.
This is the big one. This decides whether we're going to be a success or not. So,
I just said there was one club that I'd stick in tiny.
Oh yeah,
put them down there.
I don't think you can argue, can you? Really? No. I mean,
we'll do it seriously before they all turn off.
They're a big club, aren't they? They're a big club. Definitely. They're a bigger club than Wolves. I don't think they've ever been relegated, or they haven't been for like 100 years or something stupid. A bit like Arsenal, who have never been relegated. They've got the new stadium.
If you look at Wolves, we're perhaps just creeping into that big club narrative. Whereas Everton, they're safely in there, maybe even pushing. We know that they've got the investment. We know that obviously Everton fans have had the great news of that stadium rebuild. We've got rumours of a stadium rebuild, but they're actually going and doing it. I think having been to Everton, it's a stadium that, as great as I like Goodison Park, I think it's a stadium that is looking a little bit outdated in places. So this is probably great news for Everton fans.
They've had a lot of success as well. You go back to the 80s. I mentioned earlier of Howard Kendall. FA Cups back to back. I think they had 3 leagues in a row, or 2 leagues in a row, or 2 FA Cups as well, like 2 doubles. They also didn't get the chance to compete in Europe because there was a ban on English sides with all the troubles that we had with fans back in the 80s. And they do say that Everton could have won the European Cup back then if they were able to compete. So who knows, if they did have a European Cup under their belt, maybe they would be in a tier higher. If they'd have won that European Cup and managed to sustain their success, who knows, they could have been where Liverpool are now. They just dropped off, didn't they? So,
yeah, exactly. And we've justified the big club narrative, so hopefully we won't get too many hateful comments. But at the same time, guys, we're just showing you we're not going to suck up to you.
Yeah, unless you put in a good word for Mike with us, and then we'll put you in a massive club. You said that there's only one club that you would put in tiny, and I've got a funny feeling you're going to say Brentford. But I stick Brighton in there. Who the fuck are Brighton? Come on. Let's be real. Brighton. Do you remember when they tried to tell us when they first came up that they've got a derby with Palace? What?
I think Palace fans like that as a derby as well. It's just the weirdest derby in existence. Locality-wise, they're not even near each other. It makes no sense whatsoever. But there is that derby. It's a very strange derby. It's probably, to me, it still makes no sense. Would I dispute that? It's hard, isn't it? Because they've been a Premier League club for quite a while now. But apart from that, as you say, there's no one overseas like supporting Brighton.
I don't know. If your claim to fame is a yearly festival, you're not really anything above tiny, are you? Let's be honest here. You say they've been in the league for a while. Did they come up the same season as we did? Did they win the playoffs when we won the league, the championship?
Oh, now you're testing my knowledge. I'm not too sure. It feels like they've been in the Prem for a while.
I don't think so. I think they've only been in the Prem for like 2 or 3 seasons. I think this is their 3rd season coming up. Isn't it? I don't know.
Does the fact they've got a 50 mil player not change it for you?
Moving on to Chelsea. I think you've got to say, this is a close one, man, because they've been quite dominant now for 20 years. They've got 2 Champions Leagues. They've won like 6 or 7 titles, 6 titles in the last 15 years. They were probably the best team of the between the 2010s and 2020. Are they quite god tier yet? Are they the biggest club? For me, they've overtaken Arsenal, in my opinion now.
Yeah, I think you've got to say they've overtaken Arsenal. They've definitely got a massive worldwide fan base as well. I mean, can you say a team that's only existed for 20 years, can that really go into God? I've just annoyed a lot of Chelsea fans there, haven't I? No, but in all seriousness, they did win things before, obviously, the Abramovich era.
Yeah.
Champions League winners multiple times.
I think they did win the FA Cup, was it 1997, with that Gus Poyet volley, was it? I might have got that wrong, but I think Dennis Wise won the FA Cup with them as captain in the mid to late 90s. So they were winning things here and there. But, I mean, the debate is whether they're god tier. They're definitely a massive club. I think they're the 3rd biggest club in England right now.
I don't know. They're right on the edge either way, aren't they? So maybe we should just be kind and shove them up there. Actually, no, let's leave them where they are.
I can hold my mouse like this.
Yeah, so if any Chelsea fans are watching now, that's where we would put you, but we're going to round down. We'll round down.
Should we? I'll tell you what we could do. Add row above.
What, and just call it Chelsea?
Oh, no. I thought I'd ruin the whole thing. This is what we do on... this is what we do.
I'm glad you saved that. I thought it was going to go terribly.
I know.
I thought you'd also lost Chelsea as well then. Oh, this has gone terrible.
No, that's right, isn't it?
No, because now you've got 2 clubs in Chelsea.
Oh, it's all gone to pot, guys. It's all gone to pot. Right, hold on. Scott, keep talking to them. Keep talking. This is a video.
I mean, I'm just watching you somehow try to rescue it at the moment. Oh, no. God's sake. So we're basically creating a new row, especially for Chelsea, basically. I don't know if it was worth the effort. What are you showing Man City and Chelsea? What was... He's trying to get too technical.
Have we done Arsenal yet?
Yeah, we shoved them in the massive club, didn't we?
Right, okay. So this is right now.
Yeah, I mean, the colour scheme's way off and everything now, but we'll keep going.
Yeah.
Don't bother with the colours. It's not that important. No one's watching this for the colours. If they haven't even clicked off already.
I need to move this one. Guys, cutting edge reporting here.
Right, let's move on to Leicester. Let's try and save this video. On.
But listen, if any Chelsea fans are watching, the lengths that we went to then, just to give them their own little tier, they're going to subscribe to Mike's channel.
If they don't subscribe after this to the Blue Boys Network, you know,
yeah, fuck them. We'll put them back down.
Basically, we'll move them back down to Tiny.
Let's go to Leicester. This is a simple one for me. I think they are very close. I think they could be the closest. Could they? How much does history play a part? I don't know. They've won the Premier League. They've won the FA Cup.
They're big, aren't they? I don't think they're massive. They are a big club. It's kind of like Everton, really, that like they've got the potential, haven't they? I feel everyone in that big club at the moment has the potential to end up where City and Arsenal are over time. It just depends how they go, and that's what's so interesting about the Premier League at the moment. But like, it's just such a tough battle. I mean, if Leicester managed to, well, I was going to say pull off the top 4, but of course they didn't end up doing that anyway, did they? I mean,
yeah,
they need to solidify those top 4 places, and I think they're definitely building a team to do so. But for me, yeah, they're not quite massive at the moment.
Yeah, it's a shame, but again, in 5 years, if they can win another title or four out of 5 years in the Champions League, you could put them there potentially. But Brentford, it's a shame. I can't wait to see Brentford. I was really rooting for them in the Championship last season. They finally got there over the line. I think it's fair to say that they are tiny. You know, probably the smallest team to ever get in the Premier League, other than maybe Blackpool. Or even Burnley. Don't forget, Burnley, when they first came up, were a laughingstock. So they've done well to change their opinion now. But yeah, they've got to be tiny, haven't they?
They want to. Obviously, they are a tiny. At the moment, they're tiny. They're getting into the Prem. I think everyone wants to see them do quite well in the Prem as well. I've loved watching Brentford's story over the last few years. Obviously, you know, selling their best players every year for big fees, arguably sometimes bigger fees than what they should get. And then there's just sign these replacements that, you know, you barely even notice that the players they've sold on have even gone. Their recruitment's been fantastic.
I agree.
And that's why they've managed to operate from where, you know, from probably like a small Championship club to where they are now. So if they keep that strategy going, I feel like that, you know, they could possibly stay in the Prem.
I think they might do okay next year. I've got a funny feeling they'll stay up. Liverpool, I mean, this could be the shortest one. No disrespect to Liverpool, but you could argue that they're, over the last 5 to 10 years, they've been a bigger club than Man U, especially like, again, young kids growing up now. They're not seeing United the way that we saw them. It's that Arsenal argument, isn't it? Where it's getting close to a decade now they haven't won the Prem. haven't been past the Champions League quarterfinals, haven't been in many Champions League knockout stages over the last 10 years. So, Liverpool could be potentially top of the whole thing, but they're definitely God tier.
I mean, I'm not going to disagree with it. I'll be interested to see the comments after, as I'm sure. I'm sure some of the people watching this might be able to put up an argument. I'm interested to see it, because I'm sure if I was watching a video on a predominantly Wolves channel, for example, and someone put West Brom in God tier, I'd probably have something to say. It's that same kind of level, isn't it?
No, it's not the same level.
Because, well, it's not. No.
Everton fans aren't stupid. Everton fans don't think they're a bigger club than Liverpool.
No, but I just meant for the side that you don't really want to accept your rivals are big, do you?
All the hard work we've done over the last 30 minutes of trying to, gain popularity and prove that we know what we're talking about, and then you've just made a comment like that.
Let's move on.
West Ham. This is another funny one. Are they a big club?
I think they've got I was going to say they've got to be, but yeah, they've got. I think they are. They're a big club, aren't they? West Ham. Let's not get it twisted.
What, just because of their
Newcastle, aren't they? At the end of the day, they're a big club that probably deserve more from their owners. Let's be honest. I mean, I know it worked really well for them last season, but that was just almost a one-off. And when we spoke to West Ham fans, they were kind of saying that weren't because of their owners. That was just because everything fell right. The owners have invested, but I think West Ham fans would argue, and I can't disagree too much, that they should probably get more investment than they have.
Yeah, fair enough. Obviously, their academy's brought in some incredible players, over the last 20, 25 years. Your Carricks, Joe Cole, Ferdinand, Jermaine Defoe, the list goes on, Frank Lampard. But yeah, last one. Aston Villa. It's one of these two, isn't it?
It is, and I don't know where to put them. Mate, recent times they're a big club, aren't they? But that's in recent times. Shove them a big club for now. While we discuss it, but if you look at the history. Look at the history. Do they? Would you classify them as a massive club? I'll let you decide on this one, because I'm really 50-50.
Is it 2 Champions Leagues they've won, or 1 European Cups? It's 2, isn't it?
I think it is 2, yeah.
They've won 2 European Cups, man. Like, the same as Chelsea, infinitely more than Arsenal, who we're putting in a bigger category.
Did they just have a bit of a quiet decade around, obviously the time for us that we probably most fondly remember them? But let's not forget, not too long ago, I'm sure they were battling for the top 4 and the top 7. They were a bit like Everton, weren't they? They were in that kind of same stretch. But then even if you go back further than that, I suppose Villa, as you say, they've won European championships. They've definitely got the potential now to keep growing as well. They've got an owner that wants to continue investing in them. We've already seen that just in this transfer window. So
they did have a 4, 5, 6 year period when they had the likes of Martin O'Neill as manager. They had Ashley Young, Agbonlahor, Gareth Barry, Petrov, all these good players. There's probably loads that I've missed out as well. I think, who did they have in defence at that time? I can't quite remember. Well, they had a whole host of players that were fighting for 4th. They've got 2 European Cups. That's a lot.
Let's throw a controversial one in. Let's shove them up to massive.
Are they big worldwide? That's a big one. Are they well known worldwide? Is it fair to say that Aston Villa are on the same level as Arsenal and City? And you'd probably say no. But
I get that argument.
We aren't on the same level as them in terms of the last...
Yeah, but that's why I'm saying we should be with Southampton at the moment and well known. It doesn't sound... Now you've put that tier list up, it doesn't look so stupid, does it?
talking nonsense.
You don't want to admit you're wrong, but you know I'm onto something.
No, because if you put us in well known, how far back do you go in history where trophies don't matter? If we go into well known, Leeds have to, Tottenham have to, Newcastle have to, Leicester have to, West Ham have to. It's probably only Everton and Villa that stay in big club.
You know what, let's just leave it as it is. We're at 35 minutes already. Let's leave it as it is. And
yeah, guys, let us know. Have we got some of these completely wrong? Should Brentford be in big club? I don't know. Is it unfair that Arsenal aren't seen as the same level as Chelsea anymore? Chelsea fans, let me know what you think about having your own category. I think, I don't know, should City be there then because of the dominance that they've...
We'll just leave it at Chelsea. We'll just leave it as that Chelsea one. Let's just flick back to us to finish off. Guys, if you've enjoyed that, obviously we're going to have a weekly show on the Blue Boys Network. Let us know what you think. Let us know, we're going to be doing general football content. If you want to throw us any ideas, we'll be grateful. We have got a lot planned, though. Make sure you subscribe to the Blue Boys Network. And guys, as you can see, we run our own channel, Sweet and Sour Soccer. So if you have enjoyed this video, I'm not sure if Mike is going to drop our channel name in the description, but if he has or he hasn't, just search Sweet and Sour Soccer and give us a sub because we're on a much smaller milestone. We're trying to work to 500 subs. So, if you can help us get there, that would be massive. Thank you. And we'll see you next week. James, finishing words?
I think they've all left after your little boring monologue there anyway. But
guys,
hopefully
see you next week.
See you next week. Yeah, hopefully you come back. Take care.